I know I got a lot of making up to do, catching up to do, but we all good. After these 2 episodes, we good. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. What's up? How you doing, Ray of Sunshines? We are reviewing Southern Charm, New Orleans, however you say it, season 1, episode number 4, Alligator Tears. If it's your first time visiting my channel, what up, though? Go ahead, click the red subscribe button to be a ray of sunshine. And just everybody right now, subscribed or not, hit that notification bell so you're alerted of all the videos that I upload going forward. So, y'all remember in episode 3, all the shit that happened with Quay, how Barry said some derogatory shit to him, how Tamica had it jumping with being nosy in Justin and, why can't I think of the girl's name? Kelsey's relationship. Like, it was a lot of mess. And so when we start this episode, we pick up almost right where we left off, but we're having a conversation. The fellas, I believe it's Sunny, Barry, and Justin are having lunch, and they're talking about what occurred. And Justin flat out tells him, you can't say that kind of shit. It's derogatory. Just as if a white person were to call you a nigger, that's the same shit as a faggot. Listen, I don't censor myself for y'all. Don't be offended, because I'm just repeating what was said. And y'all probably be offended anyway, but it's fine. So they're telling him that he was in the wrong and that he really needs to own up to it. And he says some shit like, oh, I was just trying to provoke him because when we were kids, you would say, you know, you blah, 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 and that would provoke. Now, I'm going to say that is true, but at the age that you're at now, Barry, that's not what we do, and that's not how we provoke people. You were doing just fine. Well, see, what happened was he was not responding the way that you wanted him to respond, so you took it upon your own matters in your own hands to go low below the belt. Low below the belt, because he wasn't responding in the manner you wanted him to do. You wanted him to beef up and be like, nigga, I beat your ass. You know, you wanted him to go that route with you, and he just didn't. He said, put your hands on me, I sue you. Come through, Quay. At the same time, Tamica goes over to her friend Nikel's house. I hope I'm saying her name right. But Rachel comes, who is Reagan's friend, and so does Reagan. And this conversation continues there as well concurrently. But in addition, Reagan begins to address the commotion that Tamica started because of Kelsey, and Rachel co-signs, says, I walked up and the woman was visibly uncomfortable by the conversation that was being had. And at the same time, Rachel is the girl, I don't know, they're going to make her part of this crew because she's popping up everywhere and she's actually telling people straight, flat, point blank, where you're wrong, you're wrong. You like a bag of nickels. You reckless and you hurting people. You just all over the place, okay? That's pretty much what she says. And then Reagan has the nerve to be like, there's a time and a place for everything. Listen, Reagan, shut up. I don't like you. Ain't nothing you could do that's going to make me like you or anything else. But what I did like about the fellas was that Barry told Justin, I'm going to tell Tamica she needs to apologize. That was inappropriate. She should not have stuck her nose in the business or the affairs of you and your lady friend. I mean, you made shit real uncomfortable. Is she the one? It's none of your business. I mean, I told y'all how I feel. We'll run it back to last episode review so you could see how I felt about it. And the funny thing is when he told her about, you know, when he said that she needed to apologize, at the same time, Tamica was calling and was, you know, in an uproar about what had just happened because she stormed out of the house, you know, made a mass exodus, quick exodus because she couldn't stand the heat. She can't dish it out. She can't take what she dishes out, right? Is that right? Anyway, so she calls him, but she doesn't know that he's with Barry. I mean, she doesn't know that Barry's with Justin. And so she's on speaker and she talks about it, and that's when he addresses it. So then we go over to Justin's house and we find out that Justin, that's where he grew up. That's his mother's house, I mean his parents' house, that he was renting it, that he wants to buy it, but some work needs to be done before it can be bought. the mortgage company wants to make sure that it could be repaired, you know, from Katrina that happened and all the uneven of the house, the cracks and whatnot in the house. And so pretty much he said, yeah, you got a lot of cracks, but we can get it to pass so that the mortgage company will allow you to get the loan so that you can refurbish the home. So I'm going to say this is my favorite part of the whole, no, it ain't my favorite part of the whole episode, but one of my favorite things is when Tamica meets Jared for lunch, her cousin, and they sit and they have a conversation. And again, she rehashes what happened, and she talks about what happened at Nikhil's house and how the ladies ganged up on her and that she just tells the truth. And everybody in your life, everybody needs someone in their life like Jared that is not going to allow you to just run off and be reckless and think that it's okay. That's going to call a spade and tell you you wrong and you really need to apologize. And that is what Jared did. And what's funny is she was very receptive to Jared's critique, his advice that he had to give her, unlike anyone else. Because if you ever pay attention, Tamica always got something to say. Well, but this is the reason and this is why and I am who I am and I just tell the truth. But she actually received his advice, his feedback willingly and was like, okay, I need to apologize. And so she goes to visit her friend Nikhil first and apologizes to her first for being rude and leaving her home. Well, at the same time, she's like, well, I don't want to go to everybody's house. Like, here's a reason for them to get together. And I know that you're a certified swamp tour guide or whatever. So she gives us the story behind that. And they pretty much put on a lunch so that they can go on the swamp tour and have lunch, and Tamica can have the opportunity to apologize to everyone. Well, before we get to the swamp tour, let's talk about Barry. So Barry, again, let's get back to Barry. Well, Gian calls Barry, and you can hear it in her voice that she has something serious that she needs to talk about. And, you know, Barry's thinking, oh, she's my friend, and she just wants to have this conversation with me. Well, baby, when they meet up, she tells him how disenchanted she was with his behavior, how she disapproves of the word choice that he used in this verbal argument that he had with that man. And on top of that, not only do I disapprove, but you're building a brand. I already have a brand. You're building a brand. I cannot connect myself or have myself be affiliated with anyone that speaks in that type of manner. So I'm going to have to sever ties for a little while. She didn't say for a long time. She said for a little while because I can't connect my brand, my business, what I've built with someone who would say such derogatory things, and it's buzzing all over New Orleans, Nolans. Yeah. So I mean, I commend her for having the conversation with him and telling him that this is a bad look for business, especially my business, and I can't be connected. Now, I want to know if you guys think that she overreacted. Do you think that she pulled herself out too fast, that she should still hang in there and be business partners with him because, you know, they're friends or whatever? What do you guys think? Let me know down below. I feel like it was not on a personal level, but on a business level. And you do need to protect your brand. I don't fault her at all for saying, listen, until things die down, pretty much, I'm going to have to disassociate myself with you and being business partners because I don't want them to think that that's the way that I think. Birds of a feather flock together. Do you guys disagree with me? Let me know down below in the comments because I want to see how you feel about it, because some people are like, it's not that big of a deal. Or is it? I want to know. So they meet up at Tamica's house for the swamp tour and get into a van. Tamica goes over to Nikhil's to help, you know, with the lunch that she's bringing. That, what is his name? Benny. Poppy Benny? Happy Benny? I don't know. Somebody Benny, but his name is, you know, it's cute and hilarious, but it's very distinct to him. That they make for the swamp tour lunch. And so they get on there and it looks like they're going to have a good time. So pretty much everybody is excited about the swamp tour, the lunch, etc. And they talk about alligator. Have you guys ever had alligator before? I have had fried alligator like nuggets before, and it was really good. It did not taste like chicken. I'd be tired of people saying everything tastes like chicken. It did not taste like chicken, but it was delicious. So they get on the swamp boat And they begin the tour, and they start with some little soup, and it looks really nice. I mean, like, I like the way that the setup is. We saw one alligator, but in the midst of it, the main purpose was so that Tamica could bring everybody together so that she could apologize for her behavior these last couple events. Well, you know, the event with John and the naked ladies, Reagan's event, Mikhail's event, okay? So when she apologizes, just like she did at Mikhail's house, it was like a backhanded, it wasn't even backhanded, it was a around the way apology. I mean, an apology says, I did this, it was not my intent to disrupt, please forgive me, period, point blank. At some point as an adult, you gotta learn how to apologize, because you will fuck up. Nobody's perfect, and she had a hard time trying to apologize for shit that she did, her behavior, her actions. So I'm gonna need her to fix that. I'm gonna need somebody to teach her, to help her learn how to apologize. Like, it's not that hard. I guess there is an art to apologizing and asking for someone's forgiveness, because it definitely needs to be sincere. Because every time she says, well, you know, I was just in a place and blah, 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 and then throws in that but negates everything that you said prior. So just forget it. You might as well not apologize. So yeah, I think she needs to figure out how to do that. But that's not where it gets going. They start talking about Barry's incident and how, you know, it was foolish, or why are people over masculine and all this other stuff. And it gets to become a very serious, intense moment. Jared, you know, Tamica's cousin, is like, okay, I'm going to just shut this conversation all the way down. And he pretty much, I love how he let everyone know what his love status was, that he prefers the company of the same sex as himself. Like, I was really shocked too a little bit that he would do that on live TV, that would be the first time that his mother hadn't known before then, but he needed to take care of that before it came out on TV. And it was really a sincere moment. Like, my heart was filled with joy for him, with, you know, love for him. I was proud of him. I don't know him. And then there was a little bit of sadness, because he was saying, when you say that you are homosexual, people look at you a different way. And I'm going to have to say, though I am not homosexual, I know that to be true. You know, and even though we've advanced so far from, you know, in the 80s and all that nonsense, it's still hard for a lot of people to come out or allow us in to their world. I love when he said, I let y'all in. Y'all came in. I didn't come out. I love that. And so it was real moving. And I really hope that not only Barry learned something from the situation, but also some other people watching the show. Like, I mean, I'm sure this is really, a lot of ladies watch this show. I don't think a lot of men do, heterosexual men anyway, but I really hope that they do. And I'm rambling now, because I'm going to say one more thing. I knew Jared was gay. I knew Jared was gay the first time I seen him. Did y'all not know he was gay? Was him letting you in? Was this the first time that you knew he was gay? I always just assumed that see, the assumption. I just already assumed that everybody knew, and that's why him and Tamica, not just because they were cousins, but because they related on a different level. I assumed that that's why they were close. Yes, I made an ass out of myself assuming, but I knew he was gay. I didn't, yeah. So, yeah. Well, while we're sitting on the plantation, while we're sitting on the swamp boat, Jared and Susan are talking. Susan is Tamica's friend, and they want to make things a little lighter. And so they're down there talking, and they say, hey, let's go to the Myrtle Plantation next weekend. Honey, the whole table starts to shift, because from my understanding, the Myrtle Plantation is a plantation where 10 people have died, 7 of them violently, and that the spirit of Chloe, a little girl or a woman, is still there. So it's supposed to be like a haunted plantation. First and foremost, let me just tell y'all, I don't want to go to a plantation and live and sleep where, you know, Massa slept. Like, listen. Now, I do want to visit. I've never visited one before. So let me not say that. But I want to say, I don't know, y'all. And a comment she kept saying, it's like we coming out of Africa. Nikhil kept saying that. And I was so glad that Tamica was like, well, you don't put black people on a boat. Talking about we coming out of Africa. You know, and I don't think that she meant it intentionally, but that was sheer ignorance. Like, not to think about the things that you were saying that were coming out of your mouth and how they may affect other people. I digress. So when they dock, they go and they have the champagne hour. Another one of my favorite moments is when Rachel sets Reagan straight and tells her straight up, you cannot leave your husband and go stay in the French Quarter when he needs you, especially since he just told everybody he was excited about him going to get mental health services and see a therapist the following week. So he needs you. And I'm so glad that she said that to him. You're going to end up with a divorce if you keep on being in a separate place than him and you're not there for him. I know it's a lot and it's overwhelming, but he needs you there. What are we here for? To uplift, encourage, and to support. And that's what we're really good at if you think about it. So that's what she needs to do for her husband. But she is like a deaf ear turning a blind eye, because she's all like, well, our situations are different. Her husband, you know, needs someone there with him all the time. Listen, the woman is telling you right. Get right, okay? Anyway, that ends episode number 5. Whatever. Alligator tears. I want to say it was 4. It was 4. Let me know what you thought down below in the comments about this episode. I want to hear what you have to say. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Thank you so much for watching my review of Southern Charm New Orleans, season number 1, episode number 4, Alligator Tears. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll see you on the next video.